I'm a director working in the European Commission in Brussels, which is an executive for the European Union. We propose policies, we propose legislation, and also we are in charge of implementing those rules, European rules, in the member states. Economy is growing. This is how we need to manage our resources. Resource use need to be stabilized globally to start with. This is how we need to manage the globe, environmental challenges of that globe. It needs to go down much faster. We were in the situation where we were destroying our planet, and we still are. I think at the moment we are perhaps there. 2010. And then we need to make these choices. We were living the time still 2-3 years ago when there was a blind belief that the market will self-regulate itself. It will address as such through price increases the resource use, and we were blindly looking at the growth, and we were measuring our well-being only through gross domestic product, which just tells you a value added and doesn't have much to do with the well-being, but still it's being used. But of course now we have seen what has been happening, so the markets collapsed. I mean, it started from the financial sector, and then it came to the real economy. We are going to face a winter of unemployment also in Europe, and governments have heavily interfered. But of course now everything is being questioned, whether or not this really leads to optimal solutions in all areas, including the resource use, including the climate challenges, including the biodiversity challenges, and how and whether the policy actually should interfere. We have a problem of rather short-sighted policies, so and focusing on particular issues at the time. Let me give you an example, for instance, in the European context. As a resource, fish is not enough. And still it has been very, very difficult to reduce the fish catches. And this is, if there's no fish, there's no fish. And either you head to a crisis, which then will collapse the whole fishing industry, or you manage the process. And such a important but narrow focus on natural resources is difficult to manage from the European perspectives. So we are still too short-sighted, we are too fragmented with our policies. At the same time, many of the policies that are in place, which are binding, they bite on the fronts that they were designed for. But we need a more holistic and more longer term and more global view. And of course this is now a challenge that we are facing. It seems as if we have two choices to be made. Either we drift forward and then we hit the wall in our economy, and we will be seeing more economic crises in the future because the limits of the earth are known. On climate, on resources, on biodiversity, those are known. Or we manage this this challenge. And of course it requires responsible, strong policymakers who are ready to tell the unconventional truth and unpleasant truth. And I'm sure that the population at large understands if somebody tells them something which is unpleasant, if they understand that that is true. these days the policies, they tend to be perhaps too opportunistic, short-term, short-sighted, opportunistic, looking at the opinion polls and thinking and drawing conclusions from day-to-day opinion polls rather than having the visions. We need visionary, strong political leaders to make this change. Courage means, first of all, that we need to get our facts right. And we need to be solid with our factual base, from my perspective. We need to be convincing with our arguments, and those need to be based on facts, assessments, and so forth. But when those assessments are there, you need to have a courage to speak up, you need to have a courage to put things forward, and also you need to have a resilience to kind of see things through the rather complicated system. But also you need to have an understanding who are the winners and losers, what you are proposing, because there are always winners and losers. Losers usually shout very hard. Winners are quiet because they don't want to tell anybody that we are on the winning side. I think that we already see signs that the strategies of big companies are changing, and they are changing very rapidly. So instead of making money out of selling more products, water, electricity, so there are emerging companies who think that the future is about making money out of savings. Human has been able to adapt in the past, and we need to see some kind of a new revolution, industrial revolution here. And this has taken place in the past. We have had revolutions, and I believe that this will take also place in the future. There's no easy way forward, and this will take some pain really to be able to achieve what we need to achieve.